entrepreneurship. I love you. And I was the overachiever because I was so excited and ready to be there. I had gotten the job over 40 other people. I didn't have much experience. I was working from projects that were like $2 million to now working on $2 billion projects like Avatar. And I played as a music supervisor, I played as the legal team, I played as admin to deliver, and I loved my job. And I truly felt unstoppable, and I was just ready to take things to the next level. So, when it came to intention, I realized that I had one foot in my new life and one foot in my old life. So my intention for the top of the year, this was back in 2022, was I want to fully submerge into my new life. So at the time, I was working on many projects, one being the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse project. Animation is my favorite, yes. And that project meant so much to me because I was able to start that from start to finish. When I first came to Republic, it was a lot of cleaning up messes. I know you guys have probably experienced coming into a new title and they're just like so desperate and excited to have you, but you come into a lot of work. So that was one of my projects. It was Avatar. I also, have you guys seen the movie Spirited with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds? So I had a lot of different movie projects. At the time, I was getting records from Rihanna, Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande. I was so excited because those are people that didn't even want to make music anymore. And then, after having the intention of fully reclaiming the power into my new life and letting go of my old life, something had shifted. Someone who, you know, I always say, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. So someone that was one of my haters, admirers, lovers, I don't know, came in, an individual, and actually got me removed from my job. And I thought that wasn't even possible. I'm like, I show up here before everybody. I leave here, I'm the last one at the office, and I didn't think that something like that could have happened. Has anyone here ever lost their job? No? Or been laid off? Because that's what they technically said. Okay. I just wanted to know my audience a little bit. And I'm honestly not even going to use these because I really want to get personal with you guys. To be honest, I was really grateful that had happened to me at such a young age because losing a job or being laid off is a traumatic experience. I don't care what anyone has to say, especially if you are someone who is from the Bay Area, which I know most of us are, right? And I feel like because of the type of loyalty we bring and the dedication we bring to our jobs of like, we are gonna make this happen, it makes us feel like, you know, comfortable in a sense. And we take our title seriously and it becomes so much of a routine. Like I was the person that I never not had my laptop with me. I always had it. So when I had lost my job at a point where I thought I was untouchable, I was humbled quickly. And, but honestly, my faith in God, I was like, okay, my intention at the top of the year, because this had happened in February. So 1 month after, you know, we all make our New Year's resolutions, I'm like, I want to fully submerge into this new life and I want to lead with soul. I want to lead with intention. So after that had happened, I felt really numb. I felt very confused. I felt really hurt. I felt disappointed, but then I also felt motivated because if my intention was to fully submerge into this new life, to follow my heart and to really lead with purpose and to change the definition of leadership, then something amazing must be happening. So then after that, now we're still in February, and what's interesting about what happened with the soundtrack was how do I want to tell the story? But interesting that happened with the soundtrack. When you work for a company like Republic Records and you are the director of TV and film, I come from the background of being a creative. So I've done songwriting and producing, and most of my experience is within A&R. So I knew a lot of people already who were making music, and how I know that when God has something for you, nobody can take that away from you. So the Spider-Man soundtrack, what was interesting enough, while I was there, I had put a lot of people in position to be a part of it. And I had connected songwriters and producers and artists together to, you guys know the song Sunflower, right? By Post Malone. Okay, so I had a lot of pressure on me to make another Sunflower. So as soon as I knew that I was gonna have that project, I was like, okay, let me already start working on it. And coming from working with Nick Cannon and just like my loyalty to the family that I had made over there, I really wanted to put on our artists that we already had working there. So I had already made all these reference tracks for Post Malone and Sway Lee to cut. They took long, so I was like, all right, let me just have my boy group cut it and all that. And I just say all that to say, when it came down to it, even after losing my job, my boss that had let me go had to call me and tell me the director loved the song so much that we're not even taking that first cut that is in the film out of it. So we need your clearance. And that's when I knew that, like, no matter what happens, with something that's meant for you, nobody can take it away, because I was devastated. I put all this energy and time into a project that was no longer mine, but I trust in God, I trust in myself, and I was like, what's next for me? And so after losing my job, I had started a production company, and we had worked on even more projects. And then I got to still be a part of the projects that I was in charge of delivering and putting together under a company. And I got to come on as a creative. So I share that story to say that no matter what happens, no matter what direction that we're pulled, nobody can take what's meant for you. And I really want us to redefine what we feel leadership is, because it's not the loudest person in the room. I truly feel like it's who's most aligned in the room. And I'm someone that doesn't believe in coincidences. I think I'm here standing in front of you guys today for you guys to take, what resonates, leave what doesn't, but for a reason, for a purpose. And being from the Bay Area, living in Southern California, I feel like it gives me that special sauce. I don't feel like, it's crazy that they're both so close to each other and it's two different worlds, because living in LA, just to be honest, I don't like it. It makes me miss home and appreciate where I'm from so much more, because it gives you, we're so welcoming here. We're so down to earth. We have that secret special sauce, and I really cherish and I hold that. So when I knew that I was coming here to speak today, I wanted to shine my light on you guys as well. Just even it being a women's leadership summit, like, there's nothing more powerful in the world than being a woman. We create life. And I just want to remind you guys to never forget your power, and it's never too late, and to live through me if you want to, because I take a risk every single day. And I really want to encourage you guys to take a risk too, because there's something so special in all of us. And I think now we're in a time that AI is trying to take over the world and has taken away a lot of creativity from our lives, because you could just type in something in the computer and then you get a whole thing. And it excites me because I love the future, and there's endless possibilities in tech, but I am old fashioned, and I want to get down to back to the emotions, back to the feelings, like what drives you throughout the day. And if you're at a job that makes you unhappy, I don't want to say quit your job and then you guys are coming to me like, okay, so who's gonna pay my bills? If I could, I would. But I know that the closer we get to finding ourselves and healing, the better and more exciting life gets. So my new definition of leadership is healing, is authenticity, is vulnerability. And I think as a woman, that is our power. It is our emotions. And I'm so tired of, like, when I was at Republic, when I first got there, everybody told me to water myself down. They were like, you have such big energy. Everything is always too much, a lot, bless you. And I listened. When I first got there, I kept my head down. I locked myself in my office. I wore outfits that I hated them. Because I didn't want anyone to think that I got this